The Jim and the Terry are in the seats in the Hobbit Hole. That's a definite article. Jim is getting religious for some reason, and he's singing Hail to Mary, Hail Mary, Mother of God. Was that part of your rosary? Did you bring your beads?
I happen to be Protestant, but yeah.
Okay, so you don't believe in rosaries to help guide your thoughts and keep you calm throughout the day.
Maybe I should use it, though, because sometimes I'm not very calm.
I think you need to go to confession and do a couple of Hail Marys.
I go to confession every day.
I go to football and throw a couple of Hail
Every
Marys.
day I go to confession. I go directly to the one that's hearing it.
Is there anybody listening? Hello? Hello? Okay, well, speaking of things spiritual, this one kind of got me, and I do surf through Twitter once in a while and see what's the latest, the greatest breaking news, because I'm tired of breaking news on the mainstream media and on the social media. So once in a while.
Same breaking news that started at 8 in the morning is the same one at 8 at night, right?
Oh my goodness.
That drives me round the bend.
In which case, when did it break?
Yeah.
It's a never-ending cycle of looping breaks.
Remember they used to say developing story? I liked that better.
I think you suggested that in one of our podcasts. Yeah. Let's return to this story is emerging. Yeah. We have no idea what the truth is yet. We have not sent our fact checkers on it, so we're not going to repeat it, and that's the end of today's podcast.
Try this. This broke at 6 this morning. It's a developing story.
What did it break?
I don't know, but don't say it's breaking after 8 hours on it.
Yeah, okay, a bit of misnomer. Do you follow the little ticker tapes at the bottom of the screens?
No, I can't. I'll go nuts.
It goes too far. Oh, speaking of which.
Because my eyes are all messed up.
Yes, so you're awaiting some kind of remedial surgery.
Yes.
And is that creating any anxiety?
I think it's causing all kinds of crap in my life, if you want to know the truth. It's hard to drive, it's hard to read, it's hard everything.
So how did you find your way here? The GPS told you where to go? I
left yesterday morning.
Oh my goodness. We joke about these things, but you know, with age and stage, you got to start taking some of this stuff more seriously than we usually do.
Well, it got worse as soon as they let me know it was there. Yeah. That's funny how the mind works.
This is glaucoma?
Yeah. I got glaucoma in both eyes and a cataract in my left. It's the cataract causing me
difficulty. It's the cataract that's now fogging things over.
If I close my eyes, you're not too bad. It's actually gotten a little bit better. So I can tell it's you. By the end of the day, I wouldn't be able to tell your face.
Now, you're going to have a choice when you go for this consultation on getting something. There are degrees of remedies for this, depending on your price point. The public service is a budget low-end plastic lens. Does fine, replaces your...
If I could get my eyesight restored with no glasses, which I've already been told I can't, but I'll reinvest it.
It doesn't restore the vision of your 20/20. It's just it removes the clouded cornea.
Yeah, that would be fine. But I also know in some situations, like I have a nephew who had bottle cap glasses. And then I saw him, and he had no glasses. And I think it was $4,000.
Yes.
And he had the operation, doesn't need glasses. Not only that, it's guaranteed.
Laser eye surgery?
Forever. That was laser eye surgery. So if he ever needs a repair, to be fixed again, they'll do it for free, if the company's still around. But I think it's a big company. But this isn't anything what you wanted to talk about.
No, maybe sort of. Do you believe in miracles?
Do you believe
Trump is going to do 2024? And all of this comes because...
What, women? 2024 women?
2024. Is that the end of the world as we know it? Or is Jesus coming again? And what will happen? Because I'm reading a little tweet about Franklin Graham, who's the son of Billy Graham.
Yes.
In the old Graham Big Tent Revival Crusades. God bless America, and Billy Graham. Okay, Franklin Graham says, and this is the title of the article. Franklin Graham says, Republicans who voted to impeach Trump are like Jesus betrayers.
Okay, number one, I'm sick and tired of people comparing Trump to Jesus. They are not one and the same. Number one, Jesus never lied. And matter of fact, in Revelation, those who love a lie will not enter the kingdom. So get Trump right out of there. He's not Jesus. Nowhere near, not even close, but nobody is. Graham saying that that comparison would worry me, and I wouldn't really probably be a part of his congregation because that's just a stupid comparison. And I'm sorry.
He's a big figure in the evangelical community in the United States.
A lot have been saying that kind of same nonsense. It is not like Judas betraying Jesus. It isn't that at all. And to say that is going to put a lot of guilt or direct anger at those people like Cheney who did vote to impeach him. All of a sudden, you're throwing them under a bus. That isn't very religious, Mr. Graham. So stop it. Stop it and stop it now. You're getting that from me.
Would a comment
Jim.
like that result in hate mail and or hate action against
but people,
the 10 Republicans who voted to impeach Trump?
Unfortunately, in this mixed up world, we have a lot of people who worship the leaders of mega churches and such. And they're not to be worshiped. They're just human beings like everybody else. My biggest concern is, yes, that would create hate being directed. It also was a form of bullying, in my opinion, because you're saying to any other Republican, toe the line. And what is that? I don't believe that religion should be involved in politics. Put that in your drinking, sup it down.
Yeah, that's probably the bottom line.
Our king is Jesus, quite frankly, as a Christian. Our kingdom is the kingdom of God, which is going to come in its fulfillment someday, but right now it's within us. So we're supposed to be a part of that kingdom. Everything else we dabble in, that's for sure. We got to live there, just like when the Hebrews, the Jews, were taken to Babylon. They were told by the prophet, fit in, build houses, plant gardens, wear their clothes, just don't worship their God. Simple as that. So I think religious people are getting way too into this political crap. And for the reasons I've just spewed, I just am very disappointed at someone with, if he said it, I'm assuming this article's correct, and he actually said it. If he didn't, Mr. Graham, I apologize.
This was published by the Charlotte Observer, so I believe that is a Georgia paper.
Yeah. Well,
and this was retweeted by Adam Kinzinger, who happens to be one of those Republicans who voted to impeach Trump.
Really? Well, yeah, what can I say? I totally agree with that invasion into the world of their Christian power. I don't like it.
Well,
and
Adam Kinzinger, who is a person of faith, I believe, happens to agree with you. The opening title in his reposting says, looks like at Franklin Graham is still on the, quote, Trump is basically Jesus, unquote, bandwagon.
Yeah, and I've heard more
that's
people.
What you said.
He is not Jesus, and if he's God's man, it's to bring down America, in my opinion.
Well, this is apparently,
and that could be happening because I've said it 1,000 times. Pharaoh was God's man when the Jews left Egypt.
Yeah, it wasn't who you thought.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, he can use him to bring the whole nation
Interesting
down. Interesting
that Franklin Graham, who is a big name in the evangelical circles in the United States, is talking about those who opposed Trump. That's a pretty stark.
So I guess
thing.
you can't oppose Trump and go to that church and worship the God and worship Jesus.
Yeah, and you could start extrapolating. I've long said that you are atypical of that particular label, evangelical, though you ascribe to many of the the sound doctrine that they would ascribe to too. But they seem to have omitted some of the things that you flag regularly, which is, how often does Trump lie?
Yeah.
Will you follow a liar? Jesus doesn't lie. So if you're following Jesus, you can't be following Trump. Yeah. Which takes me back to my own family and my circle of friends and people who believe and ascribe to things that are faith-based, while at the same time arguing that Trump, politically based, aligns with their faith. And I'm thinking, what?
Yeah, and I don't get that either, and it's not me, but I understand people are wrapped up in that. But my advice would be to any faith-based human being, the scriptures say itself, we're not to judge the world. We can judge one another, quite frankly. But even that we're not to judge until the last. We can judge all things, but judge nobody. But we're not to judge those outside, and that would be gays, everything else outside of the church. In the church is a different story, and I'll probably have a problem if it gets invaded with outside influence, which I think it has as far as politics is concerned. I would have a problem. And as a steward to the church I attend, I would take the pastor aside and say, I think you should lay off the politics.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my advice. I can't tell them.
Keep the politics out of the church.
Keep
and
the politics out of the
pulpit.
church. We worship God, a king, Christ, the king.
So you see pastors who are leading whatever the prosperity gospel or churches, the mega churches, who have that prosperity. God will bless you. If you are, a Christian, then you will prosper. If you're not prospering, it's because you don't believe strong enough. There's something wrong.
Total wrong teaching.
Totally wrong. So
Well, Jesus didn't have a place to lay his head. He said it's easier for a camel to go through an iron needle, eye of a needle, than a rich man to enter into heaven. Do not build up your treasures on earth. Build them in heaven.
I thought he had a stone for a pillow, and it wasn't the stone of scone.
Well, yeah, pretty well. He had no place to lay his head.
No place to, and that's
and he was God.
So really, if you're a devout person, should you be thinking, or should you be ascribing to poverty?
Well, maybe. To be absolutely honest with you, maybe.
Well, Franciscans did that. That's their oath of poverty.
Yeah.
They have to be.
And the only reason we're not doing that anymore is because we've lost sight of the fact he's returning, quite frankly, because he's been a long time, just like the scripture said he'd be.
Yeah, that would be an interesting podcast. The views of the apocalypse, and where does that come from, and where is it going? And you definitely have some clear views on the ending of things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. Will Trump bring it to an end?
Yeah. No, I don't know. Oh, did I come out loud? I'm sorry. My next song, Prophets, Priests, and Poets. You may want to listen to it. You got to put aside 10
Prophets,
minutes.
Priests, and Poets coming up from Jim Sampson.
It's a 10-minute long song.
All right, 10 minutes. Well, you got up in here for that one. Bye-bye for now.